Hey guys, in this episode we are going to be bending the frame rail back into place on my 65 Mustang. Finally. So let's jump into it. Okay, we're looking good here. Yeah, get your eyes out of that laser. Probably not good for you. Need to get a tool. This tool is dedicated to Tim Bowman and Harvey Redmond. We got things to do this episode. Okay, so here's the game plan. This episode, I want to fix this rail. I want to get it dropped and running parallel correct to the other. What I'm up against, I'm going to use the method highly recommended to me by both Tim Bowman and Harvey Redmond, aka Rally Cat Garage, where I use leverage to drop this rail. And I'll show you a little bit more of that in detail. I don't know if you guys can feel it, but I'm jacked up for this. I've been waiting for this day for quite a long time, and I'm ready to hit this and get her done. Right, Nala? That's wood. That's not even a bone. What are you doing? Oh my goodness. Oh, there she goes. Okay. Here is the situation. What you see lit up, if you can see it right back there, where that red laser line is all the way back there, that is the bottom of the passenger side frame rail. And everything is leveled off. So you can see with it touching the bottom of that frame rail, this is the ground I need to make up. So we need to drop the frame about 7/8 of an inch. So here's the setup. Here's the pivot point and it's also the point where I'm going to be pulling down on the frame rail. But it goes up here, and the end of the 4x4 is braced right at where I don't want this to bend, if that makes sense. I checked with the laser level, and everything is level in here, but it's right in about here where things start to travel off. So I want to distribute the force being pressed in along here by having this block along here. So this is going to hopefully prevent from any kind of a focused strong point on the frame, because while I'm pushing down over there, obviously the 4x4 is also going to be pushing up over here. So we want to distribute that load. That was recommended to me by Harvey Redmond and I believe Tim Bowman as well. The name of the game is to slowly start putting pressure down on this and move this thing down, just slowly. As Harvey likes to say, we want to sneak up on it. So with the laser level on, I'll be able to see this traveling down if we're making ground and stuff. So without further ado, I'm going to set the camera up because I want to watch and record over in here to see what kind of movement is taking in place there. So I'm going to give you guys a wide angle shot of what all's going on. Wish me luck, Godspeed, let's get her done. It did come down, that came down. So that's good, we moved it just a tiny bit. So we're gonna keep rolling with this. Okay, so at this point, I would like to point out that what I'm doing here is not actually the method that Harvey and Tim recommended to me. What they said I should do is, what they said I should do is hold the frame in place past its point and then come along and hit it with a hammer, basically to give it new memory. What I'm doing is bouncing on it. And basically, in my haste, I mean, the trampoline loving 5-year-old in me got the best of me, and bouncing seemed appropriate, so. Alright, so we are definitely starting to move now. We have dropped it about That's probably an 1/8 of an inch. We're just gonna keep working this. We're making progress, it's moving, that's good. At that time, it's really starting to move now. You guys can see this black space, this black line right here is where the bottom of it was. So I'm already over halfway there. So the laser level that I'm using, I am putting a link to in my description. I got it for like 50 bucks and it has by far been a well worth investment. It was imperative to leveling off the car and actually determining which frame rail was out of place, which I covered all of that in my previous episode. So if you didn't see that, consider going and checking it out. At this point, the moving has really come to a screeching halt. So as you guys can see, we have moved it, well here. So we've moved it considerably. This bottom right here started out all the way up here. So that's probably good enough, but I am gonna try to make up this about 1/8 of an inch. And as you guys can see, there's no buckling or anything that's taking place in the rail. So the method is working well. Let's just keep at it. That last little bit's going to be real stubborn. I'm not even sure it's worth trying to make that up because I don't want to risk buckling or doing any actual damage to this thing. I think I'm going to try it one more time just to try to make up that little bit just to see if I can't get it almost dead on, but after that I'm done. All right, whatever we got there, I'm taking, and we're gonna leave it at that. It may have moved a tiny bit, but that's almost perfect. I think we're good. Okay, new night, new agenda. Tonight, we're gonna switch our focus on removing this lead seam. Currently, the frame rail is sitting about 3/16 of an inch high, which I'm happy with. Now that I know that that is no longer going to be an issue, I want to switch focus to removing the rest of this quarter panel in preparation for fitment. The progress on this frame rail has my brain neurons firing like 1,000 different directions for different things I want to do in the car. But right now, the lead seam is something that's been bothering me. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to start out lightly. This probably isn't the best idea because there is lead there, but I don't want to just burn off the paint, so I am lightly going to hit it with a DA sander to remove some of this paint, and then we'll switch to the torch. Hopefully that works, because my torch isn't like, it's just a regular propane torch, so we'll see. I find stuff like this fascinating. So here's the lead line, incredibly smooth, but the different shades here, lead, and then your regular metal, sheet metal. So here's the aftermath of that. I got most of the lead out of the seam. I realized after the fact that I wasn't wearing my gloves while I was doing that. Not the smartest thing. But the lead is out. It doesn't really stick to anything once it's off. So it's pretty easy to clean up. But for the most part it came out pretty easily. I don't know if I burned through here or if it was like that. Not sure. And the same thing started to happen down here. And I think what was going on was I was hitting some Bondo here and that just caught fire and really got things really hot. Not sure. But for the most part it didn't look too bad. I was trying not to get the sheet metal real hot, but it's kind of hard not to when you're trying to melt lead. Trying to locate spot welds to figure out how all this is going to separate, but I need to get some of this cleaned up first. Alright guys, so that is everything I have for this week. I do plan on making a lot of headway. I was just busy this past week. Fall is a busy time for me with work and things like that. But I do really want to get into this, and hopefully we'll be fitting panels and everything soon. So I do want to take the time, of course, to thank you guys that are viewing and subscribing. The comments that you guys leave are incredibly motivational and they're very helpful. So, you know, I couldn't be doing this without you guys. So thank you so much. You guys are awesome. And until the next episode, stay driven.